Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. We appreciate the opportunity to be here with you, and you know, today our group will do the presentation about a special proposal to help to assist Meridian Energy. You know, it's our target company to make a better improvement and to help it to be more sustainability. Before our presentation, I'd like to introduce my group members. Yeah, there are Navjot and Jaskara and Ravina and Zoe. Okay, during the presentation, firstly, you will get to know you will get a brief understanding of our report, and firstly I will make an introduction about the overviews of two exemplary companies, and then we would like to compare and contrast sustainability practice of Interface and Scottish Power, and show their successful sustainability programs, and then we move to show some sustainable practice of Meridian Energy, and the next part we are going to analyze the advantage, disadvantage, and challenges of Scottish Power and sustainability applied to the Meridian Energy, and then we still put forward some possible solutions to deal with these challenges. And in the end of our presentation, findings and recommendations are shared. And please, okay. Please pay more attention to our report, because after our presentation we will play a quick quiz game, yeah, for you guys. Yeah, okay. Let's move to the first part. Interface was established in 1973, and Ray Anderson introduced the term Mission Zero, which aims at eliminating the negative impact of the company that might give to the environment by 2020. And now I will show you a short video about Mission Zero, and you can understand what the Mission Zero is talking about. Yeah.
In 1994, the business is booming, and I'm 60 years old. Now, what does one do in that situation? Where's one's thoughts turn? Is it to retirement and the seashore, the mountains, chasing a little white ball? None of that suited me, and we've begun to hear this question from customers that we've never heard before. In so many words, what's your company doing for the environment? For which we had no answers, and it was very embarrassing. It was awkward for our salespeople. It was awkward for us, our manufacturing people, our research people, because we just didn't have anything we could say. So a group in our research division decided we ought to convene a task force and bring people from around the world to come together to assess our company's environmental position. What were we doing? Let's give us a list of things that we're doing. So they came to me and they said, "Yeah, we want to do this." I said, "Great, go for it." They said, "Well, we want you to launch this task force, to meet with them in their first meeting and launch them, give them a kickoff speech with your environmental vision." I didn't have an environmental vision. I didn't want to make that speech. They stayed on my case, and I finally said, "Okay, I'll be with you. I'll meet with you, and I'll launch your task force." But I did not know what I was going to say. I was really sweating, and at that moment, Paul Hawkins' book landed on my desk, and the rest is history. I was not an environmentalist. I had never given a thought to what we were taking from the earth, doing to the earth to make our products. Except to always be sure there's enough of that stuff coming through the pipeline to keep our factories running. But not a thought. But I was attuned to my customers. And when I found a subject that they were interested in, I got interested. But when I found Hawkins' book, it was a spear in the chest experience. And I read it and wept because it just laid out, so clearly the problems of the industrial system, the system of which, my company, my creation, this third child of mine was an integral part. And I made that speech to that tiny little task force and using Hawkins' material and challenged them to lead our company to sustainability.
As we can see, the mission of Mission Zero is associated with five aspects. There are people, process, product, place, and profits. Okay, in order to achieve new strategies of sustainability, the Mission Zero can be divided into 7 parts. There are eliminate waste, benign emission, renewable energy, closed loop, resource efficient transportation, sensitize stakeholders, and redesign commerce. And Interface has still made big contributions to manage the waste, and there is still a video can show this point.
I always believe that we can do business at the same time contributing for very serious objectives like cleaning the oceans of marine debris. So it's not a charity, this is an enterprise, a social enterprise.
Networks is a program that takes discarded fishing nets from coastal communities and arranges the recycling of those fishing nets.
Okay, because of the time limit, if you are interested in this video, we can share it to you. Yeah, and by implementing this program, Interface has achieved lots of good results. Then let's move to next part. Scottish Power is an international company which has already achieved sustainability, and this company was founded in 1990. In 2006, it became the subsidiary of a Spanish company. And then I will show you a short video to have a brief understanding of this company.
Scottish Power, investing for the future. The UK is committed to reducing its greenhouse gas emissions by at least 80% by 2050. And we are focused on playing our part, creating a cleaner, more affordable and more secure energy supply for the UK. We make renewables work. We are already the biggest generator of wind energy, producing over 1,600 megawatts. That's enough green energy for Liverpool, Glasgow and Edinburgh combined. While others talk, we're investing in clean energy and our network to ensure we keep Britain's lights on. That's investments of £6.4 billion since 2007, with a further £8 billion in the next 8 years. That's over £2 million every day. It's the most ambitious network modernisation in 50 years, putting us at the heart of the switch to a modern, low-carbon economy. That's 7 new wind farms due for construction this year, plus more offshore wind farms Building on our expertise and the success of our West of Duddon sand site, we're driving down the costs of wind energy in the UK and are seeking out emerging technologies to help us do more, creating a modern network to improve the supply. We are building the world's biggest two-directional subsea power cable to carry green energy between Scotland and England. Our aim is to deliver what works best for Britain now and in the future, creating over 4,000 highly skilled engineering jobs, jobs that our economy needs. And our people are just as dedicated, working in all weathers to keep 3.5 million homes across the country connected. But it doesn't always run smoothly. During severe weather, our network can be tested. We've reinforced the most exposed parts of our network, reducing power cuts in major storms by 75%. We work hard to ensure our customers benefit from our lowest tariffs. Our customer call centres are based in the UK and we have the longest opening hours of any energy provider. We work closely with our communities, contributing £20 million to charitable causes during the last 3 years alone. Our cleaner, greener power is about more than electricity. It is about investing in building a Britain our children can enjoy now and in the future. We are proud to be part of Iberdrola, the 4th largest energy provider in the world and the world leader in wind energy. We are Scottish Power, investing for the future.
I will pass to Nafjo to introduce the following parts. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Zoe. As you as you have already gone through all the slides for the Mission Zero and you know much about the Mission Zero, and as our company was for the interface and Scottish Power, moving towards more about the Scottish Power interface sustainability practices. As you have already seen, Zoe has already told about the 7 practices of the interface which they are following for their Mission Zero. These are the 5 more responsibilities for sustainability for Scottish Power, which includes the corporate responsibility, community and responsible taxpayer, and the land ownership partnership. I will just give you a small brief about the land ownership partnership, which means that there are plenty of lands back in Scotland which can produce more of the energy. So Scottish Power is having a word with those owners and creating more energy for the people, which gives them a more sustainability towards the community practices. As they both have the different sustainability practices, but the aim of both Scottish Power interface is the one to make sure that they are using more sustainable resources to sustain the environment, elimination of the waste from their processes, making sure that they sustain the economic health by making the products more eco-friendly and profitable, and making sure that there is a less impact on the environment. So their both aims are the similar, but they might have the different sustainable practices. Moving on to the next, these are the some of the figures which shows the sustainable figures for the interface about their manufacturing process, about the carbon footprints, which is there in the executive summary as well. You can see that it has been going down for the carbon footprints year on year, and their energy use, they are almost using 84% of the renewable energy, which is a great thing. Moving to the next slide, this is for the sustainable figures for the Scottish Power being a part of Iberdrola. So they have given a good reduction for the greenhouse effect and seeing up to the CO2 emission, as UK aims by 2020-2050 to reduce the CO2 emission. Scottish Power is already giving their contribution, and it's been reducing year on year from 2013 to 2015 from 12 million to 9.9 million. It's a great reduction by Scottish Power. Along with their waste management, they are making sure that the waste which is being created out, it's been recycled and used, and it's been increasing again from 59% to 79%, which is again a very good impact about the sustainability figures for Scottish Power. Now next slide, we will be letting you know about the sustainable practices of the Meridian Energy which they are currently practicing. They are making sure that the energy which is being delivered to the customer is the renewable source. They are working sustainability, making sure that all the shareholders are being known about what is being sustainable practices they are using. Water stewardship is the project which they make sure that the water, the energy which is being generated from the renewable sources like the water, it's being used effectively, and making sure that there is not much of use of the water in each and every electricity which they are producing and giving out to the customer. Engaging with communities, as this is one of the great sustainability for Meridian. They are making sure that they are engaged with the people, running the different programs towards the communities and the energy solutions. The solutions which they are providing, it's again very tremendous to the pocket, to the customer, making sure that they are giving the energy which can be purchased by the customer. Moving on to the next slides, these are the some of the advantages and the disadvantages of the sustainability practices that might apply from taking from Scottish Power and interface to the Meridian Energy. Sorry. Oh, that's fine. No worries. So the advantages, the first of the most forward advantage would be on the people. Like if they implement the advantage from the Scottish Power, taking from an energy company, the people would be the most advantageous. Then it would be impacting the sales for Meridian Energy by using more and more sustainable practices from the renewable resources. Then planet, as we all know that this is the only planet where you can live and survive. So more and more sustainable practices toward the green environment make our planet more sustainable. Sustainability programs like measuring all, making sure that the sustainable practices which has been involved by the Scottish Power and interface to the Meridian, they are managing it, they are evaluating it and making sure that where they have reached till now. And the cheaper deals, as we all know that they are making the energy from water, and which is a renewable resource, so they would be offering more cheaper deals to the customer and if there are more cheaper deals, they can get more customers, which can again impact their sales. Disadvantages, there might be a disadvantage because there are still sustainable practices being going on into the Meridian Energy, and it can go to the duplicity. Again, the time management, they have to make sure that the time is being correct, because implementing the new strategy can take a bit more time, and being into the competitive world, everyone has to make sure that the time is being managed properly. Capital investment, the huge investment because of the new sustainable practice which has been involved. Training and development, and make sure if we have the people and we are introducing a new sustainable practice, we have to make sure we have to train the people to make sure they are making good efforts toward that sustainability practice, so it might can affect the company upon the training and development. Moving to the next slide, which would be some of the challenges for implementing the sustainable practices. Again, it would be the organizational impact first of all, because it might affect the shareholders because of the new sustainable practices which has been involved. Cost and time, again, one of the major impact area, which is the challenge of going on being into the competitive world. Responsibility, the professionals are already working with Meridian, and involving up a new sustainable practices gives them another additional responsibility along with the responsibility they already having. They might get overburdened about that. Competition, as we all know that being New Zealand being a small medium enterprise country, there's still a competition going on between the organizations. So new sustainable practices can lead to more competition and might impact their existing customer base. And people, again, people is one of the major challenges because of the new sustainable practices. We might end up increasing up some of the energy tariffs for the customer for being a greater sustainability, and it might impact the people and might leave the Meridian Energy. Moving to the next, as we all know, if there is a will, there is a way. So there are some of the solutions which can be cope up. If we can hire more people and workforce to the performance of the sustainability practice, if there are more hired people, good professionals know about greater sustainability practices, it would help the company. They can create new flexible plans and to which can help, and we can share it with the shareholders. They can suggest the actions upon that, and we can implement the solutions. More innovative and cost-effective plans should be implemented in the organization. Like if they are doing any of the practices which can eliminate the waste, and the money out of that which is being gotten at can be reinvested into the organization and can give the more better possible solutions to the Meridian. And we can give the more cheaper deals to the customer, because as we are producing the energy from the renewable sources, which is the water, and I think New Zealand has got a good water base, and they can give more cheaper deals to the customers, and they can involve the feed-in tariffs, which can help giving a good solutions to the company. Moving to the next slide, which is more about the findings and some of the recommendations. Findings, as we have done the research on all the companies, which is the Interface, Meridian and Scottish Power, and bit seeing about the New Zealand economy and everything, we have found out a thing which is called as the pure advantage, which New Zealand is actually helping and promoting their sustainability products and their cleaner environment. It's one of the country which has the least CO2 emission in comparison to the developed countries and the developing countries, which is one of the greatest thing the New Zealand have. And I think Meridian is one of the good promoter to this pure advantage, and they are almost producing their energy by 80% renewable resources and making sure that it's being used for the greater sustainability, and they are making good practices towards the sustainability. And I think what the learnings we have seen from the Scottish Power and Interface can help Meridian to give almost 100% of the sustainability practices. Moving to some of the recommendations, which is in the last slide. So we can give the recommendations to the company about their mission and strategies which they are working on. We can give the targets to the employees and promote the initiative programs within the companies, which will give Meridian a good initiative towards the sustainability. We can the savings from the initiative plans which has been there into the development of the company can give more sustainable products and sustainability practice in the company. We can carry out some of the structure changes if required in the organizations, which might help in increasing of the sustainability practices. And also we would, as we have already seen, that it would be good if Meridian, we would be implementing a monitor system to track the performance of the sustainability practices which has been taken by the Meridian and what we have learned from the Scottish Power. So it would give a good thing. And last but not the least, which is the ISO 14001 based EMS system, which has been taken by Interface, can be implemented into the Meridian Energy, which would give the great practice. Thank you. We can start up with the questions. And just before that, you shoot us with some of the questions. So we have followed a different strategy. We shoot just a small questions to make sure that everybody was listening to us. So it would be a small quiz. It would be the fastest round. We would see like how many would be raising our hands, and we would just show. There are only 5 questions that I would say, and I would see like how many people can answer that question. It would gives me a confidence, like our team a confidence, like everybody was listening to us. Can you give me the questions? Yeah, just tell them to take us with the questions, and I will just give the marks. So each question carries 10 marks. I know that it's a very high marks, but we have only 5 questions. So
hi people, I have 5 questions. So it's not like you have to be very serious about it. It's just a fun quiz. So my first question will be, when was the Scottish Power founded?
Jenny. It was Scottish Power.
Scottish Power founded.
1990.
Judges. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So just so the judges have the team E. We can take judges as the team E. So it's good that judges has got 10 marks. We got the next question. I think judges were more.
My second question is, when was the Mission Zero introduced, and which company introduced it?
Yeah, Shalini has got the answer.
1993 by Interface.
Oh, that's great. Well done. Shalini, so your team is C now, so I will give you 10 marks. Good.
And another question, give one sustainability practices of Meridian Energy.
So, would be this question is not an executive summary.
Raise your hands, raise your hands.
That's why we have made something like this.
Raise your hands, raise your hands. Anyone?
Water stewardship.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
I think we have a good guy. So, it's fine. Good. Moving up to the next question.
How many fronts are there in Mission Zero?
Was that question 2 or question 3?
So it was the third question.
Third
So it's just the mask.
He didn't put the marks down.
Yeah, I have put in the marks 20 because you are team E, Peter. The judges. Just
7.
7. Good, Nisha. So Nisha, you are in team
B. Last question. Describe one challenge that our targeted company will face while applying the sustainability practices. It was there in the presentation. Anyone got the answer?
People.
Cost.
Oh, Atul has given the answer. That's good.
What's your team is?
So just to show off the marks, I think this is the winner chart. So winner is our judges, the team E.
Judges are the winner.
What was a key resource in your research that inspired or helped you?
Thank you, Peter, for the question. It was a very nice question. I think the key resource was that, as I've already started up saying that I have taken up a pledge regarding the sustainability, which was in the Unitech. It actually opened up my mind regarding how sustainable the environment is, and we have to take care. So the key resource was something in regards to the sustainability, which actually motivated all us towards making up the research on the more going up to the interfaces, making sure we are going towards their practices, what they are doing. And even I even contacted up the Meridian Energy, their office, like if they can give me a chance to just visit to their office. But due to lack, they already had only office in the Auckland, which is the sale division. Yes, they gave me some good information about the Meridian, which was how they are developing their energy, like by using more of the hydroelectricity, and what are their future plans about the sustainability. So this actually motivated us, and I shared the information within the team, and this was one of the key resource for us to get motivated towards the sustainability and working towards the good project which was given by you, Wealth with Green. Yeah. Thank you.
Questions?
Hi. So Auckland and New Zealand and especially Auckland are growing. Right? Auckland is set to double in size by 2030, so its power consumption is probably set to double as well. What is Meridian doing to make sure that the new power required will meet Mission Zero standards and we won't see a return to, say, coal or non-renewable generation?
Thank you for your question, Andrew. And I think this is one of the things which I actually asked up, the same question I asked to the Meridian Energy when I called up them. I know that Auckland is getting a bit crowded, and this is one of the things which Meridian is doing. They are implementing more of the smart meters, which would be helping Meridian Energy to record the consumptions of the customers, which is currently being used. So smart meter is a device which would help Meridian to know what is being consumed currently by a resource in an organization. Like they would let to know, like, okay, in this particular house, this much of the energy is being used currently, and what would be their future uses of this particular energy type. So from that, they would be analyzing all the future needs for their resources, and that would actually help them in letting them know like which resource needs to be used for generating the electricity. So it's a very big project for these smart meters. They have already started implementing the smart meters to the Wellington, and which are actually helping them knowing the customer needs. I will just give you a small brief, which is smart meter can actually send up the reads automatically to the company. So they would be knowing like what's the consumption on a daily basis, on a monthly basis. So you can track all the things, and also they are implementing a communication message towards the smart meter, like if the weather is being forecasted like it would be a sunny day, so it would actually give a message to the consumer that if you use less of your energy tomorrow, you will get a discount on your energy bill. So this would actually help them analyzing more of the energy uses in the near future.
Okay, thank you.
I hope it helps you. Yeah, thank you so much, Andrew.
In conducting this assignment, what has been something that has most surprised you or delighted you in terms of the research or the discoveries that you've made? Direct this to somebody else.
Yeah. You can direct it to we are just direct to this.
Yeah. What surprised or delighted you?
The only thing that surprised us was the sustainability practices. Like they have a big project to implement. So of Meridian Energy,
right.
And they would be looking for big and wealthy investors. So this was the only thing that surprised us, like how would they implement their process step by step. Yeah, thank you.
Alrighty. That's all the questions from hands.
During their presentation, they got very good involvements by having the small quiz at the very end. And I think after that, everybody can have a better understanding for their presentation. But my recommendation is there are too many informations in the video. Maybe you could decrease the number of the videos you're presenting. Thank you.
I think you handled the questions fantastically, and overall, your team's delivery was very good.
I think the speakers speak without the cue card, and it's very professional.
I like the idea of your graph and the pie chart. It helps us understand where the company was before and where they are heading now. Thank you.
Thank you, Ravina.
I appreciated that you had taken the time to find out what Meridian was already doing in terms of its sustainability initiatives, and you've subsequently said, well, you actually went to the company to find that out. So well done on there. And that will be a useful suggestion for everybody else in your final reports. Make sure you know what your current target company is already doing. And if you can't find anything, well, that's kind of good too. That's a useful piece of advice. If they've got no explicit sustainability strategy on their website, well, you want to remark about that as well. And that shows that you're doing something valuable and useful for that company. Okay, any areas for improvement? I would just say, well, I've got it. When you're asking the question, you need to stand straight up. You'll see on the video that you are doing this to avoid that little bit of nervousness.
Areas of improvement. The first few PowerPoints have lots of context. Another repeating from the other team B, and the rest of the PowerPoints were okay except for the first few. Yep.
I think you speak too fast when you present. maybe speak more slowly and more clearly. Yeah.
I agree with the previous judge. Slow down so others can understand better.
You've obviously done your research. You had a lot of information, especially a lot of sort of facts and figures throughout, as well as 4 pages of graphs in the handout. I think there's a little bit too much attention on the figures and not enough discussion around what these figures actually mean for the company. Peter?
Yeah, just check that word duplicity. Look it up in a dictionary. I think you mean duplication. Duplicity has a different meaning, which is not accurate in where you're using it. Ensure you talk about the target organisation earlier in the presentation so we understand why we are finding out about Scottish and the interface. Yep, those are the main things. Any other positive points to remark about this team? Any other positive points you've got left in your barrel? No? Oh, just avoid using the screen as your cue card, because that forces you to turn your back on the audience. So you do need to use cue cards which are like the very first team on an iPad or an iPhone or little cards, not big sheets of paper. Okay. So well done, clearly well researched and put together, and good